When you level up a crew member, you will eventually get the option to promote them to captain. A captain can then be assigned a role, which give them some extra benefits. Provided you have both criminal record and shadow government, you have 8 roles available. If you only have the base game, you only have a couple, accountant and intimidator. Let's take a closer look. The enforcer pays 50% less when setting up new fronts. That's reason enough to get criminal record. The enforcer scheme is a bank heist, which gives you some money. If you're playing Philadelphia, you can also do a jewelry heist and get some gemstones. The intimidator can ask a hooligan what they keep in their safe house. It can be useful to know how many trucks to send should anything happen to them. The intimidator scheme can give you some 3rd or 4th tier booze. It seems the jailbird gets a bonus to melee combat. I tend to give my captains Tommy guns if I can, so I haven't checked. The jailbird scheme calls in a raid on a rival and gives you some 4th tier booze. Lookouts get 50% extra movement points per turn, which is useful for scouting new territory. The lookout scheme sets up a front in a new part of the map. Sometimes they want to set one up a bit too far away, but at least you can call it off if you don't like it. The mouthpiece is supposed to give you a discount when bribing cops. This may or may not be working as intended. The mouthpiece scheme finds dirt on a cop and pays them off. Sometimes the cop is nowhere near your territory. The closer gets buildings cheaper, but I've never checked by how much. I don't usually buy buildings, I get them from indebted gamblers instead, because it's much cheaper. The closer scheme can get some booze. It's the same as the intimidator scheme. The accountant can build expansions cheaply according to the text. I haven't checked, because by the time I have an accountant, they've already built all the expansions they need. The accountant scheme finds you a new building to take over. This is useful. Finally, the operative from Shadow Government. I haven't noticed them doing anything other than what their scheme can accomplish, but maybe I just haven't looked. The operative scheme finds dirt on a politician and blackmails them into giving you influence. Same as if you had sponsored them in an election. A bit further down you can see your unassigned captains on the left, and all the rest of your crew on the right. This German outfit in Pittsburgh currently has a couple of unassigned captains. Let's take a look at what we need for the different roles. The enforcer requires subverting a couple of enemy fronts, attacking 2 enemy buildings, and looting 6 safe houses. Both rival outfits and hooligans count for safe houses. And you often come across abandoned hooligan safe houses too. Rival fronts have a little red symbol on them. You talk to them and ask them to close down for a while. You either have to intimidate them or pay them $1,000 to close down. Sometimes they refuse to attack a rival's building. Look for the ones with the red background. Use the dialogue option to attack. To get an intimidator, you need to extort 5 and forgive 5 gamblers, extort 15 businesses, and threaten 5 people. To extort a business, you ask them to pay you protection money when they've joined your territory. Easy enough. To extort a gambler, just tell them to give you something. Any of the first or second option in the main dialogue menu should do. To forgive them, you choose the third option, pay off their debts. As for threatening people, if the gamblers don't pay up the first time, you sometimes get an option to threaten them. Smashing up a business who refuse to pay you protection money may also count, but I'm not 100% sure. The jailbird is more straightforward. Be involved in fights with a hooligan or rival crew member 6 times, making sure to end them twice. Get arrested. The last part can be tricky, especially later in the game when you can become more or less untouchable. If you want a jailbird, make sure to get a crew member arrested early on, and focus their efforts into fulfilling the other criteria. The lookout just requires someone to drive around the map and discover new territory. Send them off to 50 previously undiscovered corners, and click on 25 businesses they discover there. You won't be able to achieve this if you've already discovered all of the map. To get yourself a mouthpiece, have a crew member establish for fronts and bribe a handful of cops. To get a 100 conversations sounds like a lot, but all you do is talk to people, buy or sell goods, talk to businesses and hooligans or rivals, and so on. It's time-consuming but not impossible. A closer needs 50 transactions, a few business deals with goons, 20 favors redeemed, and having attended 3 residential events. For transactions, just buy or sell goods to businesses. It doesn't matter how you redeem the favors, so choose whatever option you like. Residential events are lunch clubs, dinner parties, and poker nights. It doesn't matter which ones you do, as long as you've done 3 in total. The business deals with goons means doing deals with corner hooligans, take them up on offers, or pay them off to go start a boxing gym. Either one of them should work. To get an accountant, I usually take my first alcohol operation manager and my first speakeasy manager and swap places with them. That way I get 2 accountants for the price of 1. The booze op manager will have 6 expansions or upgrades built by default if it's a first tier op that you upgrade. If it's a corner speakeasy manager, just add and remove some expansions. Making an accountant is not a quick process. Getting yourself an operative is quick and easy. All you need to do is to go redeem 3 favors and have them attend a couple of residential events. That's all there is to it. You'll have an operative before you know it. Of course, neither of these captains are ready for a role yet. If they were, I'd be able to press the confirm button. If you want to see how close you are to fulfilling any of the criteria, look under your outfit. You only see your unassigned captains under the roles. If you want to check on a non-captain, you have to look at their criminal record, provided you remember the criteria you're looking for. You can also get to it straight from the crew list. You don't have to wait for them to be promoted to captain. You can start to steer them in a direction as soon as you hire them. For detailed information about schemes, check the website. That's all for now from Pittsburgh. And remember, you can't be half a gangster.